Belching Joe the Wonder Veep forces the president's hand, and Tingles needs a drop cloth. Hey kids, you know Sammy. My name's Steven Kruiser. This is Kruiser Control. We're starting. Properly caffeinated, ready to roll. How you feeling today, Sammy?
Good.
I'm good. I'm good. A little. Look, this is itchy. Why is it itchy? Much to our delight, America's panderer-in-chief made it impossible to not begin this week's episode with a little Flashback Friday. We just don't do that enough. Old school Kruiser Control. You say you want an evolution? Well, you know, we all want to change our minds.
And I had hesitated on gay marriage, in part because I thought civil unions would be sufficient, that was something that would give people hospital visitation rights and other elements that we take for granted.
So he was against it because he thought civil unions would suffice. Let the magic of the internet tell us if he's being entirely honest about this.
What I believe is that marriage is between a man and a woman.
That sounded pretty straightforward, didn't it, Sammy? What I believe is marriage is between a man and a woman, and now he's evolved to, that's the civil union. The whole thing where he explains it yesterday takes like 20 minutes to say it. So, and then sort of, in this one guy, he said to me at this time, and then what it was is they threatened to pull some funding from him. And as soon as this announcement came out, there was an email asking for money because of gay marriage and student loans. Your student loans can now actually marry each other, which is good. What's white and white and white all over? Yeah, boys and girls, it's tingle time. That's a tingle crybaby dance. We haven't done that. Chrissy was pooling IQ points with Martin Bashir in an attempt to hit double digits when word came in that the Lightbringer had completed his evolution, just in time to sucker some cash out of a different gullible constituency. As always, his response was measured and hyperbole-free.
That's the good news for everybody in this country in terms of freedom and the long march towards liberalism in this country, which has always moved forward for rights of all kinds of people. It's always been forward-leaning, as we say on this network, actually. And it's always moved in that direction. But there's always been this other army out there that feeds on those who resent it. That army's been out there during Jim Crow. It was out there during abolition, during suffrage. There's always an army that feeds on change and feeds against it. The wolves. And they're being released right now.
Yeah. This is right after he said Obama's statement was earth-shattering twice. Earth-shattering. This evolution of his. And the wolves are out there. He hesitated the first time he said, there's always this army out there that feeds on, because he wanted to say, the brains of babies. That's what was running through his head, and that's what they teach them at MSNBC. But that's not what was happening. Calm down, Chrissy. Take a chill pill. That thing was so, it's a 6-minute clip. It was so full of moments like that. The wolves, the earth-shattering, hug your babies the way God hugs them. And it was the full range of Chris Matthews' drunkenness all in one segment. It was beautiful. And Bashir's just, ugh. It's unnamed segment time, featuring America's crazy uncle who hugs you just a little too long at the family reunion.
The fact that Washington doesn't work very well right now, and hasn't for now a number of years, that coincides with Obama Biden being in the White House. And you've been very critical of Republicans. Do you think that there is a modern right-wing conspiracy that has aligned against this president?
No, I don't think there's a modern right. I think the Republican Party's been taken over by the Tea Party.
You could go to the zoo while chimps are flinging whatever nasty stuff they find on the ground at each other and get more intelligent interaction than what you just saw there. Washington hasn't worked well for a time period coinciding with the Obama-Biden era, so it must be a right-wing conspiracy. One so far-reaching that it actually makes the president act like an incompetent fool who is in way over his head, and Biden say something stupid every time he opens his mouth. When, oh when, NBC, will your war on functioning brain cells end? For the children. Tweets of the week! Twitter.com/Steven Kruiser. You follow me, I'll follow you. Upload an avatar because I don't talk to eggs. Yes, we established long ago I am an eggist. Tweet number 1.
Cookie Puss. I want to speak to Cookie Puss, man.
Cookie Puss? Is that what that said? Tweet number 1 asks, do you eat White Castle when you're sober? White Castle's a Midwest thing, isn't it? We don't do that on the West Coast, but it's a notorious drunk food. Even I know that. And I don't eat it while I'm sober because it's not here, and I wouldn't eat it while I was drunk because when I'm drinking, Sammy, I don't like anything down there that would absorb the alcohol and slow it rushing into my bloodstream. Tweet number 2.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Old school Hulk. Lou Ferrigno. That wasn't Lou Ferrigno. That would sound, I'd do a Lou Ferrigno impression, but then you guys would kick me off. Tweet number 2, how does one attain a mullet rat tail-esque coif like Keith Judd's? Keith Judd, of course, being the convict who siphoned votes away from Obama in West Virginia. Yes, 40% of the voting Democrats decided they would rather vote for a guy with a rat tail mullet than President Obama right now. Hope, change, bye-bye. Okay, I don't know. The best way to get a mullet like that is to actually just move to West Virginia. Tweet number 3.
No.
Mark. Tweet number 3. I'm curious, and I think this is a sincere question, but I probably won't have a sincere answer. I'm curious, who is your favorite Democrat? I actually did spend about 5 minutes thinking about this in the modern Democrats right now, and it was late, I was tired, and I really could not come up with one who's in office right now who I could go, yeah, that's okay. So I'm still going with my fave Democrat of all time, who is, of course, Zombie Harry Truman. Don't forget the website, SteveCruiser.com. Find out what I'm doing. I'm writing also for PJ Tyler, PJ Lifestyle, and a couple other things that were announced this week. And so the website's going to be kind of goofy now. We're going to do podcasts and goofy stuff over there. And as always, when you comment, and we actually remembered to bring one in this week. Last week kind of had an invisible wipe. You get the magical PJ Media wipe, which now can make you forget the sins of your past. So we're giving these out to candidates. And our comment winner this week, I love his name, Fat Jack N. No self-esteem problems. Fat Jack N says, Tingle Time was good, Circle of Dumb was better, but this week's winner was Bingo in a blue sweater, Henry V. He brought everything together there, Sammy. He had the whole, he was quoting lines from the show, he kissed my butt a little, and he alluded to Tingle's whole Obama Shakespearean thing that I'm still laughing about. Feeling sluggish? Brain doesn't seem so sharp today? Don't reach for an energy drink that might make you start chasing ferrets around a petting zoo. Simply compare yourself to whatever is lurking in the circle of dumb. It's the static lean circle of dumb. Once again, Tingles tried to bully his way in by saying something stupid virtually every moment he was awake. But hey, I can only ruin so much of your appetite with his droopy mug. In the interest of giving you a slightly less overwhelming case of nausea, your winner is... Soledad, even my family doesn't watch me, O'Brien. Here, the ratings black hole at CNN welcomed the victorious Richard Murdoch by chastising him for wanting to be a senator who might actually accomplish something.
You told the New York Times the time for being collegial is past. It's time for confrontation. And when I look at the polls and talk to people who are frustrated about, I would say, a lack of what's getting done in Washington, D.C., I mean, there's genuine frustration, and the anger can be seen in some of the poll numbers. I think approval is probably 17% approval for Congress. Doesn't going in with an attitude, potentially, of course, if you are able to be, victorious at the very end, that collegial is past and we're going to be confrontational, doesn't that actually just undermine any sense of trying to get Americans united and together?
We're not actually sure what Murdoch's reply was because Soledad is still asking that question 2 days later. She never she went to the Bill O'Reilly School of Broadcasting, I think, except she doesn't let the guy talk before she talks over. Just in the thing to do. I'm citing the poll numbers that say everything is not working well, so aren't you just evil and racist for wanting to go in and do something different? And she's blah, 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 blah. Hey, do you like what I'm wearing? Am I pretty? Is this show fun? 4 people are watching. 2 just left. 2 things you'll never have to worry about with me, dear friends. My position on pants evolving, and the fact that you will always be the first to get the last piece of my mind. I've had a couple fired up, serious last pieces of my mind recently. You know what? This weekend is Mother's Day weekend, and I'm going to go easy on everyone and tell you to enjoy it. Mothers out there, happy Mother's Day to you. Happy Mother's Day to Kruiser Mom, and happy Mother's Day to my 99-year-old grandmother in Tucson, Arizona. I love you guys. I'll see you.